In this day and age of video games, the simulator genre is pretty well established, facsimiles of daily mundane jobs to humorous parodies and physics sandboxes. So whilst researching, I wondered if firefighting had been added to the roster, and lo and behold, it has. But let's go back 11 years, where sim games had loftier goals such as managing theme parks, malls or entire cities, and playing a game based on an everyday occupation was less common. In 2004, Konami developed and published Firefighter F.D. 18. Of course, firefighting being the main mechanic is not all this game is. In traditional Konami fashion, the plot takes the form of one of the cheesiest predictable Hollywood stories I've ever seen in a game. I'll put a movie cliché counter here in the corner so we can all spot them as they appear. The city of Port Serena. FD-18 has been called out to tackle a fire that has broken out in an underground road tunnel. Our protagonist, Dean McGregor, has a troubled past. He became a fireman because he hates fire. Fire took his sister's life.
She is alive. Somewhere.
Fire took my sister.
And even though fire is just a violent chemical reaction, now it's personal. Somehow. Arriving at the scene, McGregor is approached by Hottie McReporter, who's new to the job. But McGregor is having none of it because he has a job to do, damn it. Will she return later? Maybe need rescuing. Maybe more than that. Well, let me put it this way.
Never ever say casualties.
Just like real firefighting, the main priority is to rescue survivors. As tempting as it is to extinguish all of the fire, time is of the essence, and if anybody dies, it's game over.
You disappoint me.
Your main tool is the fire hose. You'll use this to tackle the several different types of fire, like more intense chemical fires, those bastard ember-dropping ceiling fires. Oh, and don't forget...
Watch out for explosions!
Yeah, keep an eye out for those things that happen suddenly and without warning. Finding your way around and locating survivors is done by Konami's excellent ability to make clear, intuitive mini-maps, whose style is lifted directly from Metal Gear Solid. Fire alone isn't the only hazard. In keeping with the realistic end of it, fire does cause damage. So falling ceiling beams, collapsing floors, gas leaks, broken electricals and blockages await McGregor, so you can't just rely on your trusty fire hose. Other tools in your arsenal are a fire axe for breaking down doors, cracked walls, obstructions, and taking out those electrocution robots, because why not? An impulse cannon, I suppose is the best name for it, which blasts a burst of water to clear an area. Sometimes you will find and will need to use fire extinguishers, which are the most effective against fire. Now, I'm no scientician, but wouldn't a professional fire hose be more effective than a domestic fire extinguisher? These, however, only appear when the game calls for them, which is the same for the impulse cannon. But there is an emergency way out if you find yourself in trouble. You can summon the Bum Genie, who help you out with an impulse burst. Yeah, I call him the Bum Genie. Because he suddenly appears behind you as if he's just come out of your arse, and Genie because you only get 3 per mission.
Ah! Help me, Bum Genie!
Ah, thank you, Bum Genie.
My name's Larry.
According to the Wikipedia entry, the story closely follows that of the Ron Howard film Backdraft. I've never seen the film myself, but reading the synopsis I can see where there are some similarities. Family loss, corruption, and of course, there has to be a villain. With lots of computer hardware.
Heroic firefighter? So you're the one who saved Blackwell. Did it, who ruined my plans!
This is Jason Hunt. His place in the story is nothing remarkable and his motivations are made pretty clear from the outset. He has an agenda, and the involvement of FD-18 is screwing up his plans.
Don't screw anything up. See you at the party.
The party. So, you think you can get rid of me at the party? Every real party needs a good party trick. Want to see mine?
For his heroic efforts at the tunnel, Dean is honoured at said party. This makes way for more clichés including brooding outside, Hottimate reporter showing up, and the obligatory backstory.
I have a younger sister, just about your age. Well, she would have been, if she were still alive.
I took my sister.
Oh my God!
The fire is right behind the reception hall. Get everyone out.
The game is divided into 4 main stages, and I suppose for variety, the party is taking place on a docked cruise ship. Ah! The food! Which doesn't escape Jason's wrath, as Dean has become a thorn in his side.
Hey, where's the reporter?
Have you found what you're looking for?
Oh no.
For foiling the death of Blackwell, again, Jason has decided to target Hottimate reporter and is now holding a prisoner at the final stage, a chemical plant. Oh, great. As the location would suggest, this has the hardest fires to endure. With more explosions, more fire geyser things, more pitfalls, more zap bots, more death, more burny fuckery, more! The biggest challenge comes in the form of the game's bosses. These are ferocious infernos that almost seem alive. Battling these requires a lot of trial and error. Like a lot of game bosses, learning its pattern is key, and with the added headache of multiple shit being thrown at you, prepare for many restarts. Despite the frustration, I found these to deliver the most variety in terms of gameplay. Each boss is unique, and broke up the usual put out fire, rescue, survivor, repeat.
You just won't die, will you?
And speaking of bosses, human bosses for once. The predictability continues with a final showdown against Jason. Oh. Okay, stop. I'll leave this oh so huge revelation out, but if you're still awake, I'm sure you know who's really behind everything. I decided to leave most of the story details out of this review because, I'll be honest, it's pretty predictable and very unoriginal, and every time I tried to go into a bit of detail, spoilers would occur. Plus, I like to avoid going overboard like I have done in the past. Yeah, sorry about that. I think Konami did a good job with what is a simple concept, keeping it varied enough with locations, boss fights and a silly story to prevent it from being a simple monotonous simulator. It's very well presented with detailed environments and realistic fire behaviour, and I personally enjoyed the corny acting as it just fits. Because having generally good acting might have made this game come across taking itself too seriously. To my surprise, I never realised how much of the longevity relies on the try and try again difficulty. When I finished, not including the 148 continues, The overall game time was only 3 hours and 23 minutes, but it felt longer. If you're the kind of person who easily gets frustrated with restarting after many deaths, I wouldn't recommend this. But if you're one for Dark Souls style punishment, well, maybe not to that degree, give this a try. The feeling of accomplishment definitely justifies the challenge. Ugh, really? Okay.